I'm going to go ahead and bookmark those real quick. Too
Okay.
bad I can't pre-flight preparation. Now, of course, we've also got it here, reasons of the experience, and you'll see we're required to what? PIC, to act as PIC under IFR, I have to have 6 hits. Instrument approaches, holding procedures and tasks, intercepting courses. The above can be, what the hell is an FFS?
Huh.
ATD. Oh, flight, this is, it can be in a simulator, approved training device or actual aircraft. Okay, good. This is not an official publication, by the way,
No,
but
it's
it's
just a
awesome.
summary. Yeah.
But it is great, yes. You're not current, so your currency for 6 months, you're current for 6 months after if you haven't done it, you have another 6 months to be able to safety pilot it and get those 6 things out of the way: the instrument approaches, holding procedures, tasking, and intercepting. If you do not do that, you have to go for an instrument proficiency check, which is a lot of work,
Okay.
which is almost like a check ride, just the flying part of the check ride. So that's
Gotcha.
good to know.
Like more than a flight review.
Yeah, it's just the PIC is just the same. Yeah, it's
Do we
3
take off some
landings.
landings?
Yeah, 90 days.
Full stop at night.
Yeah, to act as PIC, to carry passengers, to act as PIC the last 24 calendar months, for exceptions.
So, but you have to do instrument stuff consistently to maintain your instrument rating.
And I don't think that's a bad idea after having gone through this.
Oh, right. Yeah. No.
Yeah, because if you forget VOR and all of a sudden you go, shit, my ILS is toast. My slope is toast. I'm just gonna have to do an old school VOR. You're gonna have to, and it's raining like hell outside,
Yeah. Holy
and
shit.
yeah, and so now's not the time to figure out that you don't know how to do it. And because I don't want to be that guy who ends up on the morning of December 12th outside
Oh,
of
I know,
Bryan,
right?
Texas, that stuff, which you've probably seen that one as well. Um, okay, what's the requirements? You got to have 50 hours PIC time. And I'm
Yep.
going to say the funny thing, cross-country PIC time, which is greater than 50 miles,
Mm-hmm.
and 10 of which is in airplanes.
I guess they assume 40 could be instrument.
No, I don't think.
I mean, simulated. Sorry,
I don't.
simulated.
I don't think it is.
Let me check. Actually, my ForeFlight, it keeps track of what I've been doing in my logbook, and it'll tell me how close I am to certain ratings. Let me cross-check with them, even though they're also not an official source, but it's the
It's a
quickest,
pretty damn
closest
good
thing I've
one.
got. Yeah. See what it
Okay.
says. I want to say it says the same thing because I've looked at it.
Okay, let's go to the FAA Part 61 regulations. FAA Part 61 regs. Okay, no, just give me the damn publication.
It says total PIC cross country 50 hours minimum.
Yeah, I don't
It
see
kind of just
how.
stopped right there.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, see, I think this is a BS statement. But here's the thing: it can't be when you're instructor. You have to be the PIC.
Yeah,
If you got an
basically so.
instructor, yeah, or with mere civilians in the plane.
Right.
I got so much of this stuff, it ain't even funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of these requirements probably met just from exercising your PPL privileges.
Yeah, just from being crazy. Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see. So here we go. Let's see. So this is this looks like a bunch of stuff here. This looks like a wholesome goodness.
Yeah.
Let's look up the term 50 hours just for fun. And Control F, 50 hours. Okay. Okay, questions and answers. Pilot medical solutions. Okay, this is. Uh,
Oh, it says of 10 of which airplane.
oh, I think that's even for helicopter.
Oh,
Maybe that's it.
huh.
Huh.
40 hours of actual simulated time, areas of operation.
Yeah. So we got, of which 15 can be, yeah. Okay. So here's the same thing. So let's go
15
back.
has to be from an instructor.
Uh-huh.
Like if you're doing,
Got it. And I've got that in spades. Uh, you know what? Let's go to the official FAA document. Let's go here.
yeah, there you go.
Let's go. And let's look for the words Part 61, Regulation Policy.
It's on that little
Uh-huh.
box on the right, top right.
Here's one. Pipe, fly, and pilot, flight, and ground instructors.
See top tasks for, yeah, right there.
There you go. Let's open this bad memo jamma in a new tab. And I know we're going to need 91 as well. So let's open that. Okay, good enough. So now let's take a look and what the hell? Really? It's 91. Okay, so it goes to, wow. This thing's going to go forever.
Good Lord.
Holy crap nozzles. Okay. All right, so let's look
This is the
up.
entire FAR.
That's good though. You know,
Yeah.
50 scans, Control F, 50 space error. All right.
Yeah,
Wow.
44 entries for 50 hours. I think this is the entire FAR though.
Uh-huh.
I don't think this is just part 61 because I saw part 91.
I thought 90 is over here though, I think.
Okay.
I think this is 60. Yeah, this is 60, blah, blah, blah. Show me something dark. Yeah, this is all 61 and this one's 90, 90 whatever, 91. All right, so we got everything we need. So I get it. 40 hours, so 15 cross country, great. I've got greater than 250-mile long airways are directed by ATC routing. Instrument approach at each airport, 3 different kinds, which I did with a filed IFR flight plan, which I did as the courtesy of James. 3 hours instrument training in the last 2 calendar months prior to practical tests. Okay, we'll make that happen.
What constitutes IFR flight?
Oh my Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, so where were we? 295 nautical miles, 3 different kinds of approaches, got that covered. Filed IFR, we got that covered. 3 hours in the prior 2 months, got it. Use of approved flight simulator or FTD trained by authorized instructor, maximum. I'm not doing any of that. I mean, I've got an approved thing, but I'm not even counting that. I fly ILS I love that little machine for ILS. It's awesome. It kind of sucks as a VOR because it doesn't have real VOR. It's just got the ILS on it. But
Little plane at the museum.
no, not that one. The one that I had at home that I rebuilt for the museum.
Oh, I do. I remember that one too.
Yeah,
I remember that one
that
too.
one's actually super cool though. They're both really cool, but I would like to fly that one at the museum as well. But shit, I want to fly the damn real airplanes at the museum. No more than 20 hours total can be credited in flight simulator. Don't care. That's not a problem for me if you're under Part 142. Pilot certificate, medical certificate. So what do we need for this? Pilot certificate, medical certificate, authorized photo ID, yes.
It's
If
like
we're going to,
all the same stuff.
yeah, just like anything before. Oh, Arrow, we already know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Aircraft maintenance inspection. Okay, don't tell me. I'm not going to look at it. You look at it. Aviate. Shit. Damn it. Hold on.
You getting called again?
No. I'm just trying not to look at it. And I want you to look at it, and I don't want to look at it. So let me see. Aircraft maintenance is, fuck, I forgot. Okay, the annual VOR, 100-hour altimeter, the altimeter and altitude sending unit. Hold on a second. Okay, transponder for T and E for ELT battery, right?
You got it.
Ha! Well,
Yep,
that's awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna look at. I'm not looking at the one underneath it right now, but I'm looking at that annual inspection, VOR 30 days, 100-hour inspection, altimeter, everything to do with the pitot-static system, basically transponder, ELT, 12 months. So I should know A12, V30, I100, A24, T24, E12.
I thought there were 324s. Let me pull out mine.
You know, I thought so too, but I think the ELT went to 12. for IFR guys.
Yeah, ELT is still 12, but transponder, altimeter, and pitot assessment altimeter, they're the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so never mind. You got it.
Altimeter. So pre-flight self-assessment. Shit. I've got my hand on. This is so stupid. I got my hand on my television. M safe. I'm just going to look at M safe. I am safe. Okay. Fuck. I gotta look that up. Illness. Okay.
Yep.
I'm actually looking at it now because I couldn't. I'm mildly retarded. Illness, medication, stress,
Yep.
alcohol, fatigue, emotion, or as I call it, Tuesday. Yeah. So. Yeah. So illness. Do I have any symptoms? Medication.
I'm here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So aviate. Blah blah blah. I am safe. Okay. Holy crap. Who makes up these words?
I
These
know.
aren't even words.
I'm glad to see there's some overlap with the PPL and the IR though, because that'll help me out a little bit.
Okay, I got safety. Seat belts, seat. I'm turning around now. Seat belts, seating, seat belts, seat rail adjustments, everything to do with seating, knowing how to do your seat belts and making sure your seat belt rail is locked. Then here's how you, A is for air conditioning, basically your environmental systems. To here's how you adjust them. Don't push this button, don't do that. F is for fire extinguisher, which is right there between our two seats. E is for egress and emergency. So if you see me running, run like hell, but don't run towards that whirling meat cleaver at the front of the airplane. Run away towards the back. And if we have any fires, we'll do this in flight. If we have this, so this. Okay, and then the next one is T, which is traffic. I need your head swiveling. I need you looking for traffic. And then talking. If you see me hold my hand up, it's not because I don't like listening to you. It's because somebody's saying something that we might need to hear on the radio.
Right.
So don't do that. And do you have any questions for why? Let's see, how close was I on that?
That sounds right to me.
Awesome. Accidentally got it right. Okay, good. So hopefully this helps you as well.
It is. Yeah. I forgot about the safety acronym, but I still remembered most of it. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
risk managements and personal minimums. If there's cloud in the sky, I ain't flying. Pilot, general health, physical, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at this one because ones I've memorized are aero, aviate, and safety. So I got to do decision, decide. I got to do the other ones that I haven't. So I've got to bring those up to snuff. Okay, so pre-flight is illness, medication, I'm safe, which is illness, medication, I'm not looking at it. Stress, really? Okay, isn't that the same as emotion? Why did I have stress and emotion?
Yeah, I've heard E as emotion. I've also heard it as eating. And there's one more I've heard. So I think E is like not. Yeah. Just make sure.
I'm screwed if they're against eating.
I think they just mean have some food in you.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Let's look up the 99117. Let's look that up. What the hell? I want to see what they've actually talking about there. Let's go. Boom. Control F, Control V. 91.7. Okay. How about 17? Here we go. Put that in there. Alcohol or drugs? Yes, thank you. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Emotional. Alcohol, no person, blah, blah, blah. So now I see where this is coming from. The truth is, you shouldn't touch any of this shit before you fly, anyhow.
Right.
Or for that part, even in life at all.
Just in general.
Yes. So you mean while I'm driving, I can do it? No, not what I meant. Okay, I get it. I like it. I'm going to save both these. I'm going to favorite them. Choose another folder. That'd be great. I should have flying in here somewhere. Okay, I don't on this one, but I will. Let's make new folder. Let's make a new folder. Let's call it IFR. There we go. Do the same thing here. There we go. FA relations. Add that bad mamma jamma as well.
I can't
Done.
see your screen. I see like
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
I mean I still see your two windows side by side, but they haven't moved in a long time. I just
Got it.
realized that.
There we go. Now we're doing.
Okay.
Now things are happening. All
Oh
right.
man, oh you got all the. I want that document. IFR quick review. I'm looking that up.
IFR AC. This one you mean?
The one on the left.
Oh yeah.
Quick
It's
review.
under Pilot
Pilot
Cafe
Cafe.
IFR review.
Yeah. Get
And I've also got that just cache local, but you need it. Okay. So let's go back here. So where were we? I need to come back through and do some more of this shit. Oh, great. We got a whole nother page of this crap. Take departs. I love it how they try and make it relative.
Yeah, they just force the acronym.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one. Is that
monkey
IFR
butthole?
specific?
I'm not really. Do you really need acronyms that bad? No. And they won't make any sense. But departure
I bet we
review.
could come up with one that makes sense. That's what the fucking.
Oh God, that's hilarious. Okay. All right. Takeoff briefing. Depart review. Departure review. Establish expectations. Oh, ow. Okay, got it. Plan special considerations, weather, visibility, terrain. This is like an overall brief. Alternate, yes. So this is this part of planning? So this is the overall takeoff brief. Okay, we brief the alternates, runway conditions and length, trouble, tactics, the bad stuff, plan, speak up, which is the same as your questions or whatever. Okay, so departure review. Initial type, initial heading, any standard departures, establish expectation, who's going to be flying, transfer of controls, you fly your flight controls, my flight controls, plan, special considerations. By the way, I don't know how to fly, that kind of thing. So alternate. So you want plenty of time, plenty of fuel, get twice as much fuel on board. I know it's going to burn up a little more fuel, but nothing more useless than the runway behind you, the sky above you, and the fuel left on the ground, and it's only too much fuel when you're on fire.
Exactly.
All right, so those are words to live by. All right, I kind of get
Is this different than NW Craft? I see a few things, but it looks like this is
NW Craft was up here.
Okay.
This is the brief in the plane.
Okay.
I mean, this is, you got your co-pilot next to you, and after you've done all this plan and pre-flight, then you talk about it, because like a coffee party or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's kind of like a book club review. All right. So the 1, 2, 3 alternates 1 hour before. Let me see if I remember this. What the hell? So it's 1 hour before and after. Do you need an alternate? Well, you need it if there's 1 hour before or after. So if you got a forecast for 1 hour before and after, it's 2,003 statute miles. You don't need a thing. So if it's there, if you can basically land at it without even turning the instruments on, you don't need an alternate.
Okay.
Because let's face it, if you've got a 2,000-foot ceiling and 3 statute miles visibility, you probably don't. Yes, you can come in on instruments, but you're
basically VFR.
You're basically VFR on probably by the time you're at the middle marker. Okay, 1 hour, 2,003 miles. So that's the 1, 2, 3 world.
So with IFR, there's like you're required to have an alternate. Like on file, like with your flight plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
And every time you fly IFR, is there a flight plan?
Yes, yeah, there is.
Okay. You're essentially like you're like a little remote control airplane for
yes
other controllers,
and no.
right?
Yes
Okay.
and no, because you actually get to do a lot of stuff that you're still flying. It's still your job to see and avoid. If you're in
Hmm.
clear sky, you're on an IFR flight plan, and all of a sudden you see a fighter coming at you,
Yeah.
you don't go, they'll tell
Uh,
me to turn.
yeah. Yeah.
No, you do your thing, and then you tell them, hey, why didn't y'all tell me about that Squadron F-16s coming my way?
Shit.
Or something like that. So never assume that you're just a little. Now, obviously, if you're in hard clouds, good luck on doing your own VFR collision avoidance.
Yeah.
You can look at your traffic box and shit like that. Min weather conditions required at an alternate airport. Now, let me see this. Um, if it's an ILS, I'm turning away from this. Just see if I can stream of consciousness this out a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
You can
Um,
scroll away from it if you need to. I have my own copy.
oh, you and your cleverness. All right. Um, hey, can we go offline for about a minute or so,
Yeah.
about 5 minutes? I got to take a bio break and I got to do one thing. I got to send a document on another computer real quick. But in the
Yeah, no problem.
meantime, thank you for doing this, Andrew. And hopefully by the time I get this done, I mean, by the time next time, if we have another time to do this, we can go through this. I'd like to go through all 21 pages of both documents.
I'm sure that'll be very mutually beneficial. So yeah, no problem.
So do you have any questions on what's going on with you? How's your stuff going on?
It's fine. I feel really confident about the knowledge stuff. The only thing I haven't gotten to fly. I flew one time yesterday, and that was like in almost a month. It's just weather and maintenance and stuff.
We can go over pages like this over and over again to where you just walk in and you walk up to the examiner. You just sign the papers now. You practice saying, oh my God, you're awesome, and let me fly this plane for you.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, that,
practice.
yeah,
And
that would be
practice
great.
your signature as well. Uh,
Okay.
nothing like a little confidence.
Right.
So, hey, let me go offline for just a sec. I got to do two things and I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. I'll be here.
All right. So, do you know what's the altitudes that you go westbound for VFR flight?
Um, even thousands plus 500.
Correct. And you do even thousands for IFR flight. Is
Oh,
the
so no,
general.
no plus 500.
No, because that would suck.
Yeah, it really would. That makes sense.
So you just don't put on the 500. So,
Gotcha.
and it's the exact same rules, and here it is right here. Mm,
Yeah, I saw that.
mm.
That's makes sense.
Based on magnetic courses, filing an alternate GPS equipped with. This is an interesting rule. See that?
Equipped with non GPS. I don't know what that means.
Okay. You don't have the super hypersonic one that's super precise.
Hmm.
You can fly, then you can you can flight plan based on GPS at either the destination author, but not both. Because they're planning, well, if you got a shitty GPS and you could make it into your primary, we certainly don't want you betting on it for your secondary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or vice
Okay.
versa. You can say, well, you're trying to do your ILS in, but you can't follow two needles. So we're going to do GPS into this as alternate. Okay, was without barrel nav made the base.
Do most planes have a WAS GPS? I mean, that's probably
Uh,
do most planes with GPS. That's what I meant to say. Do most planes with GPS have a WAS?
IFR non-was. Oh, excuse, typed that wrong. All right. All right, let's take a look. Here's pilot workshop. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, what year was this? Okay. Eh. Yeah, so WAS is, I know what WAS is, but I'm trying to think, I don't even remember when that's not WAS because all the modern stuff I have now is WAS. So
I'd, I'd assume anything with like a graphical display will probably be up to
no,
that.
no, no, because you can get an old 430 that doesn't have WAS.
Oh, okay.
So
But I assume it's pretty obvious if it has it or not, right?
I don't know actually. I'm pretty sure your 530s will have WAS, But the Garmin blah, blah, blah W means the WAS version of the unit, has 5 times the refresh rate of the WAS, and so responds more quickly, has more sophisticated terrain warning system, can predict where you're moving in 3 dimensions better. It can be used as a position source for ADS-B if the airplane isn't ADS-B equipped. All right, newer GPS navigators like the Garmin GTN blah, 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 series offer options for curved approaches and more. God bless.
Thank you.
Which brings us to why do you care question. Okay. So I learned about proper system rather than only directed navigation, non-precision GPS approaches.
I'd bet the one in the Piper is not WAS.
I bet it's not either, actually, but I think he thinks, you know what, I'm putting this in IFR as well. God dang it, look at us making all sorts of favorites. So, which type of GPS is installed in the airplane you're flying? Fuck if I know. Most are WAS. No GPS installed. It's like 2 people in a Piper Cub. All right. WAS without barrel VNAV may base the flight plan on the use of LNAV approaches at both destination and alternate. Okay. Barrel VNAV is barometric vertical navigation. So, which means based on with barometric navigation in WAS system may base the flight plan on the use of LNAV, RNAV, or RNMP at both destination alternate. It means you can use vertical guidance at both places if you feel like it. And because it's actually quite cool. If you're in a 530 equipped airplane, it can guide you on there's certain GPS approaches that it will give you like a glide slope. And it's almost like flying ILS.
Yeah, I think the 150 I used to fly, the yellow one from Nate Able Flying Club, I think that one had something like that.
Okay, yeah, like because if you go into, I don't know if it's Denton or Decatur, one of those has got that there, and you all of a sudden you're like, you can fly the needle. Except for the difference is, don't forget, you don't get to fly the needle all the way to the runway. You have to bottom out just like you're in ILS. Meaning you come down
How do you know where to bottom out?
I'm glad you asked me. I am so glad you asked me. Hold on, let's go look. To get at the Tofino, he show you, huh? 1 second. So let's go. Let's see, AirNav. RNav? No, AirNav, damn it. Let's go to AirNav. Take a quick look. AirNav, awesome. Let's go look at some charts. Airports, yes. Let's see if Denton has it. In Texas, that sounds good. Let's try that one. Let's go down to the charts.
Oh, it's based on their equipment. It's based on their equipment. It's where
Yeah,
you need to...
RNav. Let's look at these RNav ones just for a second. Biome. Ah, yes. If LPV, okay, great. Here's your minimum. When they're guiding you down with that needle, you come down 840 feet and half a mile visibility. That's your minimums. When you're basically sliding down the pipe just like you're going on ILS, meaning you hit the point and then you're familiar with the ILS needles yet?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll tell you.
I hear it all the time, but I don't know what it is.
I will show you.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish you were here at the thing I show you on the simulator. It's super cool.
Yeah, I'll have to come over sometime. I was supposed to go fly today, but weather again.
Yeah, it's not great weather, you know. ILS overview. Okay, let me see.
Is overview of...
No, god damn it to hell. Simulator. Let's see if they got a simulator online. So I don't care. Good. First,
It's not just like a symbol. Let me look. I'll look on mine.
Okay, FSMF, blah blah blah. Well, it doesn't really make sense because instrument landing, let's just do an animation. Videos. Just show me the freaking needles. Okay, great. French air navigation system. Okay, great. Are you seeing this? Ah, shit, it's on the other audio. Really?
Yeah, I can see it. I don't hear it, but I see it.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this routed to the other thing. Play map, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see if I can change that.
Through radar vectoring in.
I can hear it.
How about now? Can you hear that?
No, I could like a second ago.
Okay, no, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because now I'm hearing it in my ears and you at the same time. Let's not do that. Okay.
From the control tower,
I hear it.
air traffic controllers manage takeoffs and landings.
All right, damn it.
They also organize the ground traffic
Oh, here we go.
toward the airplanes. On the ground, the localizer antenna, situated at the end of the runway, transmits a radio beam that indicates the runway center line. A second transmitter, the glide slope, is situated at the edge of the runway, and its beam indicates the correct vertical descent profile. In accordance with International Civil Aviation Organization standards, the angle of this approach slope is 3 degrees. The intersection of the approach slope with the runway center line given by these
the center of the
transmitters
donut on the
represents the
gauge.
ideal descent path.
You know what I mean?
The receiving antennas on board the aircraft pick up and display this information on a screen in the cockpit.
I love flying
The
that
landing
shit.
airplane
You
will
get to
follow a
160.
fixed trajectory with a slope angle of 3 degrees
In fact, I'm
down
better
to the
without
runway
looking at the
surface.
airplane. Then once I look out, you can wander a bit. Okay, let's.
During the final phase of the flight, the air traffic controller guides the airplane towards the localizer beam.
You see it okay?
Oh,
The pilot
okay.
watches
Okay.
the ILS receiver screen, where a vertical pointer indicates the runway center line. The pilot then levels off and slows down in order to configure
Now
the
you can
aircraft
see how
for
the
final
needle's coming
descent.
down because he's about to
Yeah.
intersect the slope.
Starts
Now
when
he
a
cuts
horizontal
Now he's on
power and
slope.
indicating
Now he's
the
on
descent
slope.
slope
If you keep
crosses
that,
the pointer
if you
indicating
keep
the
that
runway
thing in the
center
middle of the
line
donut, right
in the
where I'm
center of the
wiggling the
screen.
thing,
Yeah.
The
you're
landing
golden.
trajectory is then fixed with a
Wow, that's
continuous descent
fucking
profile
crazy.
down to
Like
the runway.
you're not looking outside when you land.
No, you don't.
I mean, because you can't when you're in weather.
This sequence, recorded 3 kilometers from the runway, shows the precision of the ILS system. We can see all the airplanes safely separated and following exactly the same trajectory.
Ah. Okay, so that pretty well gives you an idea. Now, what's different is that has 2 needles that are not coupled to anything. The needles in your cockpit are going to be tied on one end of the gauge, the upper and then the right-hand side. So they're going to kind of flail up and down. They're not going to neatly move. You know, it's always horizontal, always vertical. All right, so you get what ILS is.
Yeah.
All right, done. Move on to the next thing. So I guess that works.
When they say cleared visual approach, does that mean they don't have to use ILS?
Yeah, you can look outside the plane, but I think you should still stay up. You're cleared visual to the blah blah blah. Yes, but
Just curious. That's so cool.
yaw damper off. Okay, bye. I have a yaw damper, right and left yaw damper on the bottom of my legs. They're called feet. Okay. So now is the chart, and here's how I'm going to tell you how you brief a chart. We're going to do the RNAV GPS approach into Denton. The date is correct. We're good till the 31st. And you go back up here and say, it's a WAS situation here, channel so-and-so, but it's okay because you're literally just going to dial into it. You say, it's already done. Actually, it's GPS, so you just select it in the GPS. Final approach course is 177. You got 6,502 feet. to get the brakes screechingly smoking and on fire. So here's your special notes for uncompensated variance or above 54 degrees when, okay, if you cannot, in these temperature conditions, and when you cannot, you have this situation going on. And if these, which basically you cannot use the vertical navigation, the barometric compensated vertical navigation in certain temperature conditions. That tells you about that. When your local altimeter isn't being able, you can't get it, and you have to get it, if you can't get it for Denton, but you can get it from Alliance, which I don't know why the hell that would happen unless Denton was hit by lightning, and while you're still landing there, I'm not sure. You're going to bump up your minimums, your decision altitudes. So if you don't have it and you have the barometric approved stuff, you are not going to land. You're going to add 40 more feet to this as your minimum. So these are all just about minimums based on altimeter setting. You got a medium, and you've got a medium approach light system on this. For your missed approach, you will climb to 1,900 to make a right turn to 4,000 feet direct to Greg's, and then you enter the hold. Okay, let's find out where the fudge is Greg's.
What is Greg's? Is that another?
Yeah, it's another. It's a holding. It's a holding fix. I'm looking for it.
Oh. Is this a whole other universe that I'm
okay,
not...
yeah. Here, okay. Here's Greg's right here.
Greg's is the name of a.
See that little triangle right there?
Yeah.
Let me zoom in a bit. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in. Control plus. This is great for me, by the way. Okay, what the hell, biscuits?
Hold control and try scrolling. Sometimes it does that.
Maybe. No, it doesn't like that. Rotate clocks.
There's a plus and minus at the bottom right underneath HTTPS.
What?
There's a plus and minus underneath.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That might do it.
That's it. Hot diggity damn. Okay. So you see Greg's right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to become, first of all, this is a horrible one to look at because it's got a whole bunch of, this has got a whole bunch of shit going on. So IAF means initial approach fix. Okay. And Greg's is also another initial approach fix. So you can either use this as the thing you zoom into, but you see where it says an NPT, no PT?
Yeah.
That means no procedure turn. That means no procedure turn. Don't let this freak you out. For getting everybody lined up the same way, if you're not coming from here, from this side, and you're not coming from here, this way, you have to do what's called a procedure turn. And this is a hold in lieu of procedure turn, basically.
Can you, before you go further, can you explain to me what is this graphic?
This is an approach plate. This tells you how you're going to approach, how you're doing an RNAV approach into Denton to the runway 18.
Where is the runway on this?
Okay, I'll show you. Right here. See the RW18 right there? Okay. So, yeah, ask any questions you want because this is a big drink of water.
Yeah. I figured anything you have to explain to me probably helps you too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to, you don't freak out. You're going to know this like the back of your hand.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not.
No, I know you're not freaking out. Yeah. So here's the rule. This is called an initial approach fix. That's how you start getting in the deal here, right? And this one is also an initial approach fix. Can you see that? I just highlighted it blue.
Yeah. What scale is this at?
Don't make me lie to you.
It looks like you're pretty far out when you're procedures.
Yeah. So here's your deal. So what'll happen if you're actually on control with somebody, they'll vector you into this. So you don't have to, most of this is set up for when you've lost procedures and you've asked for a clearance and when you've lost comm, so you can just do what they expected you to do and you have to do all this weird stuff, right?
Yeah, but basically they're gonna talk you through this.
Well, for the most part, they'll say, hey, you got intercept this and you're established and you don't have to do half the shit on this. However, if you have no communications, so you practice it this way, you can come to here, then you can go to that fix. Once you're at that fix, you can then, they suggest no lower than 4,000 in this area unless you're on one of these little airways, well, not airways, but these things. So you can come from bottom, you can grab this, that's an initial approach fix. You can drop to 3,000. You can cross J-Love, and cross 3,000, and you see it says 3,000, no procedure turn. So now you can just come in here and get there and go, fuck y'all, and I'm turning this way. I'm heading straight to the runway. And the same thing for this. You can come from buoy, follow these fixes, come in here, come straight there and turn to the right. Head south.
So you're on a VOR during all of this?
No, you've got your RNAV. Your GPS is telling you how to hit these points.
What is this, like Bowie, UKW, and Bonham?
You can, from here, you can come to VOR and then follow it into here and come, but you could also do GPS the whole way.
Okay.
But if you hit here, you can proceed at 4,000 feet until you get to here, then you can descend to 3,000 feet and you can just make a turn. And it says no procedure turn here, right? And no procedure turn here, correct? Procedure turn is if you come in from any other direction and you have to hit this point and then you have to fly this hold and then exit this and then go out and land.
So how do you know when you're at that center star looking thing?
The GPS is going to go, you will take to turn left in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn left 177 or whatever, right?
So your aircraft has to have.
Yeah, you can only fly this if you are RNAV equipped.
Oh, okay. All right, I see. So that equipment's going to tell you where you're at.
Yes, exactly.
This is cool stuff.
Yeah, so
I am intimidated by it, but it's
no. So then let's say, so now you're at JIDOS, right? Now they tell you, notice they show you out at 357 and back at 177. That's because you were supposed to go out on the procedure turn, right? Do your thing, and there's 3 ways you can enter this, but no one gives a shit. You're supposed to show your instructor that you know how to do it, but if you could do it upside down while tap dancing, it doesn't really matter. But they're going to give you 3 ways to approach it, and then one day I'll go over how those 3 ways are called: direct, teardrop, and parallel. Direct, and so don't worry about that. So you're going to hit, if you're coming this way, you're just going to hit JIDOS and just go straight. If you're anywhere else, you're going to hit JIDOS, go back out, come back around, and then go start descending to 2,000, from 3,000 to 2,300. See, here you come in at 3,000, here you're at 3,000, you hit here. If you turn this one, you start descending 2,300. And then you can either do it just raw or with vertical navigation, right? And so.
What is JIDOS and Hollow or whatever?
Those are all just names. They make shit up.
So, okay, so it's just like a reference point for where you're at.
Yeah, I'd call it.
How do you even pronounce that though? It seems stupid. They should, like, if that's what it's for.
Yes, Taddy, J-Love, JIDOS, Hop, Holly, Zoom Low. Who the hell? It's weird.
But you got to communicate that back and forth. Like I would not know how to pronounce Hollow or.
You don't actually have to, because on these approaches, you're not telling them you're there.
Oh, okay.
You're just hitting them.
Okay.
So let's go through that a little bit. So we come down here, either we've gone through one of these arrivals in, or we've gone through our procedure turn and then come back. Now we're now at JIDOS. They call it an initial approach fix and an intermediate approach fix. Because if you hit here first, this is your initial approach fix. This is now an intermediate approach fix. And you're just turning right. And the same thing over here, this is your initial. But if this is the first one you hit, it's your initial, you do some sort of craziness, fly around, and now it's your intermediate on the way out the door. So.
Is that because you need to give them time to let you on the approach?
It makes it easier to redirect. Because
Okay.
let's face it, they don't want people flying out long out here and running into people who are at altitude out here. They
Yeah.
want them to go, oh shit, stay on the protected side, go around here and come in and do that. So don't, and I'm sure much better people will tell you about this. However, so now you come down, so you're at Gydos, you start your descent to 2,300. Now, this cross is the beginning of the glide slope if you've got that glide slope equipment. And at this point, in the Cessna 150, 172, for example, you'll cut back to you'll carb heat, cut back to 1900, drop 10 degrees flaps, and start descending at approximately 450 feet a minute. Here's the beauty. At 450 feet a minute, you should stay right on the slope. Those needles shouldn't even budge. So then you fly down, but all the time you're calling out your altitude, 1,000 above. So you get to 1,800, you're 1,840 or 1,000, then you're 1,340 and 500, then you go 200, 100, and then you get down there. And if you don't see the runway, that's where you go missed. Climb straight ahead to 1,900, then a climbing right turn to 4,000. And so you're gonna go climb straight ahead. You see my thing moving?
Yep.
Turn and go direct Greg's. So you follow,
Okay.
and then now you'll either talk to them and they'll say, do you want vectors? But if you've lost your communication, you're gonna follow this procedure. You're gonna go out there, you're gonna fly a hold pattern, come back through and do it again.
Gotcha.
But most likely, if you're in the real world, they go, you want vectors to try it again. Or say intentions, so like vector me back to try again for another try. Okay, and they'll probably just go, fuck, fly north, turn right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're clear. Intercept the localizer. You're clear to blah blah blah. You're clear for the approach or whatever, right? You're not clear to land. You're clear for the approach.
What's the localizer?
Well, excuse me, not the localizer. You're not a localizer in this. Forget it. You're clear for approach. It'll just vector you in, and
Okay.
you can either fly the whole procedure, or they can vector you back, and you can pick up over here and you start flying with the GPS again. Sorry, I kind of mixed my metaphors, but
No
this
worries.
is one way to do it. So if you have that vertical glide slope navigation, and you'll see it on your 530 pop up, and you go, oh, awesome, I'm going to fly this like a precision approach, and you go, and you just crump them down there, and away you go. Otherwise, but you don't fly it you fly it to an altitude. You don't fly it clean to the runway. Because let's say the runway, so you're gonna be 200 feet above the runway, if I know correctly. 200, yep, you're gonna be 200 feet above the runway when they say, you better have seen it or you're going around, or you're leaving.
Do these numbers, can they apply to every plane, every kind of aircraft? Because like
No, and here's the thing, category A, B, and C, and D. So here's your F-16, here's your Cessna 150.
Okay.
Now for LPV and Ds, they're all the same. But you'll notice here.
Oh, I see. Okay, so like the A,
C
B,
and-
C, and D, like it goes all the way to the end where it says 3,000. And
So they have different minimums for the different class of airplanes. So in this case, yeah, the altitude is still 1120, but if you're doing a bazillion miles an hour in final, we want you to have 1 mile. We want you to have enough time to get your shit together. If you're putzing along, the world's only instrument rated 150, then they're like, shit, you can have a 1/4 mile. Don't really care, but just don't run into anything. I'm kidding. But so that's basically how that works. So that's why I want to show you. This is an RNAV approach, which means a GPS approach. You've got the equipment in the plane. This is telling you what kind of approach. And of course, so the brief is, I'm doing this approach into that airport. The date's good. It's WAS, so we're just going to line it up. Approach course is this, length is this. Here's all the special stuff we got to worry about. We got a Mauser system on this, which means basically a little zipper light, I believe. So this approach.
Is RNAV radio navigation?
No, it means GPS. Just RNAV means GPS.
Okay.
So then you're going to missed approach. You'll brief the missed approach to your guy. You say, well, we got the weather, blah, 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 dead tower. Frequencies are in standby. Then you can brief through the chart. You say, well, we'll be coming from here. We're going to do this with a no procedure turn. So we just fly straight down the pipe and brief the mist. You've already briefed the mist. And so you can go through here and say, my decision flights is this. That's it. And then of course you can also say, hey, there's a hot spot here, and don't run into that, and blah, 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 blah. And then you can do something called a circle to land, which is make a creepazoid. But let's say you're approaching from the north, but you're going to have to land towards the north. They'll take you all the way down here, and when you get underneath the clouds and you see everything, you go, I see the runway. And then you go, whoop, you turn out to the right, and you fly 3/4 of a pattern and land going the other way. That's called circle to land. And you'll see, this is called the circling approach. They up your minimums a bit. See that? So when you're doing a circle to land, you're doing the circling approach, they bump you up a little bit. So when you get here, you have a runway in sight, I'm going around this way, and we're going to land right here. And you can never go more than a mile away from the runway. When you're circling the approach, the last thing you want to do is be in the middle of the circle and pop into the clouds. You go, fuck, I lost the runway. Now you got to go missed again. And the missed approach procedure, I'm going to have to brief that. Thank you for letting me chat through this with you.
Yeah.
But we'll do an easier one next. But this is
No
how,
problem. Just cool.
So AirNav has all these charts. It looks like this, and it's a clusterfuck until all of a sudden you see through the matrix. You know what I mean? When you start whipping up on Agent Smith and stuff like that. All right, so let's go back to this video. Minimum fuel requirements. This is good to know. So you got to get to your alternate. Got to have enough to get there. Shoot a couple approaches. Get to your alternate. Shoot approach, and 45 minutes to spare. I don't want to go that close.
No,
I want
no.
like 9 hours to spare.
Yeah, no shit. There's really no reason not to.
Yeah. So fuel from destination to most blah, 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 to the most distant alternate, then 45 minutes plus. Always take off with full tanks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you're going to burn a little more fuel. If you're that cheap, you shouldn't be flying airplanes.
No shit.
Okay, so let's scooch on down. IFR takeoff minimums. You know what? I haven't really studied this. Part 91, blah, blah, blah.
Probably it says there's no takeoff. Man.
Prescribed TO minimums for the runway, or if none, for Part 91 operations, Part 1. For our Part 91 operations, Part 121, 125, 129, and 135. I believe those are professionals. Let's find out what part. Do you know what Part 121 looks like?
Yeah, I think that's like straight up airlines.
Okay, 125. These are all the big guys.
135 is like small airlines. 121 is like big airlines. I don't know what 125.
All right. So, do you want to do this again sometime when we get more time?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stay with you for a while until Kirsten gets home, and I'm gonna chat with her after that. But,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So here we go, and I'll take the video and I'll edit out all the silence.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll just because this is actually good to have. Maybe I'll share it with you.
Okay.
So the takeoff minimums put up. So prescribed takeoff minimums for the runway, or if none, if you have 1 or 2 engines, airplanes, 1 statute mile visibility, 2 or more engines, half-mile. Non-standard takeoff minimums, departure procedure, and you see up here, it would be right here. Non-standard takeoff mins. Huh. I'm not sure where I'd find that on this chart, but there's the T. There's a T with a diamond, which means non-standard takeoff min. Non-standard IFR alternate minimums exist. Okay, this is the non-standard alternates. Right here. Okay. Interesting. So for uncompensated Varonav systems, I guess they have that as a takeoff. Alternate minimums not authorized due to unmonitored facility or absence of weather reporting services. Okay. So I have to look that up. Alternate minimums. This is going to be something that screws me a bit. So I'm going to send this to James. Let me put this in a question to James. All right, we'll put that there. Departure procedures. All right. These are like, I may have to look at this. Okay, these are like the standard departure procedures. No, wait a minute. DP are SIDS, standard instrument departures, and STAR is standard arrival departures. Okay, got it. Okay. I'm gonna have to work on this a bit. Craft, clearance, limit, route, altitude, clearance void time if you're on hold for clearance void time, data get. So this would be clear to the mineral walls effort via the so-and-so departure via MILSAP arrival, altitude 3,000, climb 3,000, expect 4,000, 10 minutes after departure, frequency for approach 118.1, transponder code 5150, as James says. Which, you know what 5150 is?
It's Eddie Van Halen's music studio.
50, you know why?
Yeah,
5150
it's like some naked guy doing some, I don't remember. It's some police code for something.
Yeah, for criminally
Something really
insane.
Yeah, something weird. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
So he always gives me a fake transponder code of 5150. Well, clearance void time. That means if you picked up your clearance at Hicks, which is not, and doesn't have its own clearance delivery, you pick it up from an RCO frequency, a repeater frequency, and then since you're there, you say, we're number 1 for takeoff. Want to pick up our clearance, we're number 1 for takeoff, 114 Hicks Airport, blah, blah, blah. And they'll go, okay, clearance void time. So they'll say, you're clear to go right now, because they're going to hold the airspace for you. Or declare and they'll give you a minute, maybe 2 minutes into the future. And then your void time is maybe 5 minutes later, right? Because they don't want to hold that airspace for you if you're not taking off.
Right.
So and then at this point, expected departure time. So what they'll do is say your clearance time, your clearance void time, and the time you have to report back. Because if you don't report back and they don't see you on the radar, they're going to send the Civil Air Patrol to look for you.
Right.
So if you don't report in on the frequency like that they told you in like 1181, after you get, you're going to have to do something along the lines of report upon entering controlled airspace, which in that area is 700 feet above the ground. So, and that has to do with airspace, I believe. All right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So standard terminal arrival, blah, blah, blah. That's called, that for example, is a Kingdom 7. I'll show you that real quick. I need to look at this. I have so much work to do.
That's how I feel.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? It's all good. Kingdom 7.
Hey, look at that.
Okay, not the one I had in mind. Oh, Jesus Christ. Arrival. Kingdom 7. Arrival. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, let's just go to AirNav. It'll be here. Oh, interesting. Let's do Meacham. Alrighty, airports, KFTW. I'm kind of bummed that they're moving down to Meacham, but I'm kind of liking it because you don't have to do anything. You just pick up the plane and leave the plane. You don't have to do shit after that. I think you fill up and that's about it. All right, let's see if they have any of the rivals here. For the love of peanut butter, come on, where are you? Okay, maybe Kingdom 7's dead. All right. Oh, departure's Kingdom 7. Arrival is, yeah, this one. Let's do RNAV. Okay, wait. These are the arrival. So your arrival looks like this. They get you all these ways to, oh, shit, nozzles. Can we turn this? There we go. All right, here's the arrival. Can you see that?
Yep, sure can.
So they're trying to get you all into NFW, Navy Fort Worth, and Alliance Fort Worth. So with Fort Worth Alliance, here's Meacham. So Slug, in order to get in, you come here. You can go this way, you can go through Geeky, Limpy, blah, 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 and then get into here and you can be routed into these various other airports, right?
Okay.
Or you come through, so everybody coming in is coming in this way. Now, there's other ones as well. So this is just, trust me, it's the same kind of thing, but these are ways to get you into the area. So they can
Right.
route you down these pipelines.
These look like they go out really far,
I don't know.
like just based on the distance from Meacham to Alliance to Park County.
Don't
like-
count on these being to scale. In fact, they say that.
Yeah, okay.
It's not super to scale. And
Okay.
they have different things for turbojets and props. When DFW is in South Flow, expect 8,000. So yeah, and they're right here. So when you get here, things are going to change now. But once you're here, you can kind of deal with approach.
Yeah.
So then you can do 118, and they tell you all about this shit, and they route you around. Or actually, regional approach. You can then, and out here you'll be dealing with Fort Worth Center. All right. God, I suck at this. So this is where I'm starting to. I have to work on these. But let's keep going. Min IFR altitudes, except for takeoff and landing. Blah blah. No under IFR minimums. Mountainous areas 2,000 minimum, and the other one's 1,000. Just like clearance here. Minimum altitude prescribed for the flown segment, or if none, never lower than that for mountainous areas, never lower than this for non-mountainous areas, and within the highest obstacle 4 nautical miles from the course. So 2,000, 1,000, or prescribed. Does that make sense? Oh, Jesus.
They have
I'm on page fucking 4.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're going to keep doing this. You mind?
No.
I mean, listen until Kirsten comes tootling on in. Okay. These are the different kinds of things that you're going to see on low altitude chart and various altitudes. Decision altitude or height. That's when you're coming down the pipe on the glide slope and you go, fuck, go around, go and mist. Full power, carb heat in, milk the flaps up and climb like a monkey. Maximum authorized altitude. Okay, you don't hear that very often in Cessna 172. But you can't go any higher than that. Minimum crossing altitude. This is when you're crossing across, when you're coming to like a VOR or some fix. There, if you look, there's going to be you can have differential crossing altitudes. I mean, because you might have people from the Northwest coming at 1,000, people from the Southeast coming 2,000 feet higher than that. 7,000 for the Northwest, 8,000 for the Northeast. You know, there are various different things you have to cross the point at. I wish I had a low altitude chart, but I guess I do, don't I? So let's find it. Maximum altitude, don't go higher than that. Minimum crossing altitude, I'm not going to look to the right. A minimum decision altitude or descent altitude, which is over the threshold, which is sent, is authorized in a non-precision approach. So minimum descent altitude is for VOR approaches. You're going to stay there and you're going to go until, let's go look at a VOR approach to see what we've got here, okay? So let's go to look at the VOR out of mineral wells. Let's just see if they are VOR here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Where are we here? We're FTW. I'm not sure you got an ILS, and yes, they can give you a VOR as well. I don't know that I've ever shot the VOR into Oh, localizer, excuse me. That's what I meant to say, not V1. I've shot the localizer once or twice in the 1.6. Let's look at it. All right. So if you're flying this is ILS or localizer. So ILS, you got the slope. Localizer, so ILS, you can descend all the way down 910 with 2,400 feet of runway visibility, which is an estimation of how far you can see while you're sitting on the ground. But you'll know it's a half a mile. So if you're doing the localizer, you got 300 more feet you got to be at, 330 more feet you got to be higher to get there. So you're going to be 530 feet above the ground. With the localizer, you can come down to 200 feet above the ground. You should be able to see stuff at 200 feet above the ground. Otherwise, you're mega fucked. So, so localizer, and a localizer doesn't fly this nice slope downward. So localizer, once you hit, you come in at, let's say you hit muffin, here they show a procedure turn, initial approach fix, and muffin. So you come in here, don't worry about it. Instead of doing a hold, you'd come in here and go, fuck, I better turn right. And then you go, I'm going to go out 20 on 29, come back around on 209. I'm going to hit them now. I'm going to do my shit. That's what you see here. Where we're going out on 344, we're coming back on 164. And if I am on the ILS, I'll start seeing the glide slope. But if I don't have a glide slope, I'm going to come here. At that point, here you can descend to 2,400, turn back around, you can descend to 2,000 right here. Once you get past there, you can descend to 1,240 on ILS, on localizer approach. So here you go, and you want down in a hurry. So here you cut your power to 1,500, flaps 10, and you just go, and you get down here to 1,240, and you level out. You do not go 1 inch below it. So that's the difference between localizer and ILS. If you're on the localizer, you come here and you come back here and you go, whoa, and you dive down like this, and you fly at 1,240 feet, right? Now I'm trying to remember.
So each line on the graphic lines up with the table on the bottom.
No, it doesn't.
No, okay.
It represents it, but you like if you say this arrow point right here, it should be like right here, but instead it's over here, right? And this this runway landing point is over here. It's not. You mean line up side left to right?
No, I mean like see where.
Yes, it correlates. It correlates. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and for the localizer, here's the interesting thing. You have the fixes, right? And for the various speeds, okay, from the final approach point fix, see final approach fix, right? Which is muffin, which is this right here. Final approach fix. You see the little thing? Here it's muffin.
Yeah.
If you're at 60 or 90 knots, let's say you're at 90 knots, you start a timer. You boogie your ass down to 1,240 feet. You start your timer, dive like a fucker, and level out at 1,240 feet, and then fly along. And when your timer hits 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and you don't see the runway, it's probably time to think about going missed. And now you can use other things. There's nothing that says you have to use the best thing in your cockpit. But you have to know how to do this. If you got there and your instructor asks you how the hell you do that, you better. In fact, it's not a bad idea if you're doing a localizer approach. Excuse me, if you're doing an ILS approach, which has vertical guidance and you glide slope out, and all of a sudden your ILS glide slope goes inoperative and you're on the approach, you can go missed. But if you're smart, you started a timer here just in case, because then you could convert this ILS approach, especially if you're in bad weather. You're like hearing you on the slope like shit. And well, I've got my timer started already, so just in case, I'm going to drop down to 1,240, and I'm going to fly along, and we got my timer. So then I go, oh, it ain't happening. So you can convert that, but just remember, because what the question is how the hell do you know if you've got no other equipment on the plane? How the hell do you know you've missed the runway? Well, you started a timer back here when you crossed, and here's your values for the speed. And here's a little bit of a thing. If you're really doing 60, set it at 90. And so when you get the timer at 2:30, then you start looking really hard and you go, fuck, okay, I know it's probably time to go. But I'm a little ahead of the curve. I'm really looking hard when I hear that. When that timer goes off, I'm like, huh, son of a bitch. There's our airport out there. I can smell it. But so that's how you literally know it by time and speed. You know your time and speed, and then you get down to the lowest altitude, you watch your timer, and you go.
Right.
Now these timers mean nothing for the ILS approach. They mean everything for the localizer approach. See, that's why it says ILS or localizer.
Mm-hmm.
And did you remember that video where it showed you that the localizer is left to right and the ILS, the glide slope is up and down? If you have them both, you have ILS. If you just have if your receiver or the transmitter shits the bed, you've just got localizer. For the glide slope, you've only got localizer.
And localizer is just
Left and right guidance.
Okay.
So that's why they give you these things underneath there and say, you have to now, instead of being down at 910 with this awesome guidance, we don't want you running into buildings and radio towers. So stay at 1240, try and stay on the slope and start your timer. If you don't see it when the timer's up, you're out.
Right.
And that's actually good for me to demonstrate that. So that's an awful long way from minimum descent altitude. This is your minimum descent altitude in a blah, 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 on a non-precision approach. And VOR, localizer is considered non-precision approach. It's precise left to right, but it's not altitude. So for the minimum descent altitude for a non-precision approach is what we've described here. And remember when I said circling? They make you go 20 feet higher, like you can tell the difference. But anyhow, okay. So the minimum en route altitude is the lowest possible published altitude between radio fixtures, which assures acceptable navigation, signal coverage, and meets obstacle clearance. Okay, MOCA is just minimum obstacle clearance. That provides you within 20 some odd miles, 22 miles, navigation coverage. But it just describes minimum obstacle clearance, which is don't run into mountains, and also 22 miles of navigation from the VOR. So if both MEA and MOCA, minimum en route altitude, these are for navigation on the airways and such. Minimum en route altitude, you can go a little lower if you have GPS, which they know you're tighter. So, and the minimum obstacle clearance is literally you won't hit something if you're at that. I could show you some of the low altitude charts, which I love SkyVector, by the way.
Yeah, great.
Okay, have all that stuff in front of it. En route, world low, blah, blah, blah. Let's go over here. Go right here. It doesn't really matter, we can go anywhere. Same. En route. Oh. Okay, there we go. Here's some cool stuff. Let's zoom. Oh, a little too much. So,
it's an IFR chart.
Yeah, this is a low altitude IFR chart.
What's considered low altitude? Below 18,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
17,999, and not a penny more.
Because airliners are doing anything else up there.
Yeah, they're crazy. So, all right. So you see here, this is a Victor airway, and you should be at about 10,000 feet to use this Victor airway. Now that seems really high, but you got to understand that we're in Prescott, Arizona.
Yeah, so the ground's like 8,000 feet or something.
Yeah, so you're not doing too high up there.
Yeah.
You can be at 9,000 if you got the GPS. That's the GPS minimum en route altitude. See that over here? Right over here?
Oh, yeah.
So, and the minimum obstacle clearance is MOCA is 8,600. which is probably, if you're non-mountainous, which means the ground's probably at 7,600, or if it's mountainous, the ground's probably at 6,600 because you need 2,000 feet clearance. And
What are they,
so,
how is mountainous defined? Is it kind of vague or is not
I
that
don't know,
matters,
because
I
one
guess?
man's mountain might be one man's foothill. I don't know.
It probably doesn't.
So, no, that's a great thing. So you got minimum crossing altitude on, see that MCA?
Mm-hmm.
See if damn it, I can't highlight the text, but you see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, you can annotate.
Yeah, crazy stuff. So let's do that. And we'll draw this. Well, what the hell is this? Let's find out. Oh, that's even better. Can you undo? Oh, you can undo. So here you go. There's the MCA that we were talking about.
Yep.
So the minimum crossing altitude we looked at as basically a minimum crossing altitude. Now here's what they want to do. You got some folks coming along here on V257, and they want that at 12,000 feet SE towards the southeast, I believe.
Okay.
Height. So, which I guess is when you're going this way, they want you crossing at 12. When you're going this way, heading from top to bottom, they want you going at a different altitude than your standard crossing altitude. Let's see if there's any others at this. So you can come by, and all others you're coming by at, so the standard crossing altitude is 12,000 SE on V257. Minimum crossing altitude. Now here's, of course, this is your frequency for the VOR that's out here. And this is, you know, the Morse code and all that. Correct?
Yep.
All righty. So let's keep it going, shall we?
All right.
Minimum off-route altitude. That's a Jepson thing. Route minimum off-route altitude. What the hell does that mean? That's okay. Okay, I get it. That means you're supposed to stay within 4 miles of the center line, right?
Yeah, the airway.
4 mile spans both ways, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so I think you get 2 miles in either direction. I have to jump. Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right, so where were we? Mora. So that's just an expanded. That's only on Jepson though. I don't even see it over here. So we're not going to worry about it. Minimum reception altitude means exactly what it says. So if you see an MRA on something, it means that you cannot hear it if you're any lower than that. So,
okay.
So for given MTA, minimum turning altitude. Huh. MCAX. I've never actually seen that.
Yeah, that looks like you got to be really precise with those. It's based on the description.
Minimum turning altitude. Minimum turning altitude provides vertical and lateral obstacle clearance, obstacle clearance and turns over certain fixes annotated with the MCX. Minimum vectoring altitude. Okay. Minimum vectoring. Minimum reception. Oh, okay, so these are defined with the X and these are defined with the R. Got it. Well, maybe I'll pay more attention to those. I can see them.
Crossing, and what is the R again?
Reception altitude.
Reception.
Minimum reception altitude, minimum vectoring altitude. Minimum vectoring altitude, blah, 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 vector rate of control except as authorized, blah, 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 and misapproaches. Okay, got it. So if the guy tells you you can fly lower, then you can because he's God.
Yeah.
You can do that. Okay, that's good. I love that annotation stuff. I didn't realize off-route obstruction clearance altitude. That's exactly what it sounds like. If you just said, don't need these damn Victor Airways. I got my own GPS. I'm gonna take myself straight home.
Huh.
I'm gonna file direct. You just wander around the weeds somewhere here.
You can do that?
You can do that, but there's gonna be a minimum Oroka, blah blah blah. Uh-huh. And you may not have any navigation or signal charges. That's your problem at
Yeah.
that point.
See, okay.
But for example, when think of the Oroka is when you're on the, let's see, let's go back to VFR. Dude, really? You still with me?
Yep.
You see these guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what the Oroka is.
Maximum obstacle
Yeah.
height.
You'll clear all your obstacles if you are higher than that.
Yeah.
In this area. Also, another little thing is if we come back here and we see this, you see this?
Mm-hmm.
You got an MSA here. That is the minimum safe altitude within 25 nautical miles. So if you're approaching to this initial approach fix
Yep.
to RW, where's RW? Where the hell am I?
Runway 18.
Oh yeah, to the
Or
RW18,
25.
right here.
You're within 25
within,
miles.
Within 25 miles. Okay,
Stay at 4,000 feet. You're not going to hit anything.
Nope. Especially not the runway. So,
Right.
all right, so there's that. Let's scooch on down. Somebody's trying to kill somebody. Oh, it's just a Sunday. He's not really going to kill him. Two principles of a gyroscope: rigidity in space and precession. Precession also has to do with the turning of the Earth, by the way.
Precession? I've never heard that.
Precession, gyroscopic precession. Yeah, let's go to, I'll show you what that. Before you make any maneuvers, check your gyro with your magnetic compass and set it to match your magnetic compass.
Okay.
Before any maneuver. And if you're just flying along for the hell of it, check it every 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just don't even worry about precession at that point.
Okay.
Two principles of gyroscope. It likes to stay rigid in space, and that's how the damn instrument works. Attitude indicator operates on the rigidity of space thing. Blah, blah, blah. Shows back in pitch average. Great. It doesn't want to move. So, okay. You already know this. It better be perfect within 5 minutes of starting the engine. Normally vacuum driven in GA aircraft, may be electrical and others, may have small acceleration, deceleration errors. Yeah, so like if you've done a lot, and also rollout errors. If you've been doing a pretty decent turn to the left for 180 degrees and you roll out, it'll show us a little slight turn to the right. Heading indicator operates in the rigidity in space. That is, okay, yeah, that's right. Heading indicator is what I was saying. You have to calibrate it with magnetic compass, or you have to have it slaved to a magnetic heading source, such as a flux gate, and sync automatically to present heading, which is wonderful. And that's what the Warrior is going to have, or already has. Okay, normally powered by the vacuum system in the aircraft. So heading indicator can either be like what I'm saying, normal without the flux gate, and you have to adjust it every so often because it's imperfections in the gyroscope and also rotation of the Earth that kind of jack it up. So please do and remember that. Turn indicators, that's what you use on your car. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Okay. Turn coordinators shows the rate of turn, turn and slip, shows rate of turn only. Turn coordinator shows rate of turn and rate of roll. Rate of turn only, turn and slip, and whether you're retarded on the rudder, it'll also show you that. So, yep.
Okay.
What's the difference between a turn coordinator and a turn and slip indicator? Let's find out, if you don't mind, if you got a second.
I assume it just doesn't have the markers up on the upper half of the.
Yeah, where the wingtips would touch.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Turn but I'd like to know. Coordinator. And it's so cool to have the sum of all knowledge of the world at your fingertips.
I know.
All right, see what this guy says. Oh, huh. Wow, that's interesting. Actually, I'm reading the Stark 123 method. That's cool. Turn and slip. Huh, that's really interesting. Huh, interesting, very interesting. Well, I like the fact that some of these people have negative votes. That's okay. It still didn't tell me what the difference is.
Yeah.
I want to see
might-
pictures.
Yeah, I was gonna say might check images sometimes.
I was going to do videos, but okay. God, I love her hair helmet. Okay. I'll just have to come back and find that. Let me see what this is. I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna put this in my questions. Right on. Let's go. Anyhow, I'll talk to him later. This guy's gonna talk for an hour if I can talk to him. Nice guy, but it's gonna be a while. Stephanie Zimmerman. Who the God? I've talked to so many people about job recruitment, and I'm like, I don't know who you are. Follow up. Who are you? Oh, I talked to her today. Okay, got it. I know who she is. I know who she is. All right. All right. Aneroid barometer shows the height above ground given pressure level, blah, blah, blah. Standard pressure lapse rate is 1,000 feet per inch of mercury. Oh, good. I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Isn't that what we talked about last time, though?
Kind of, sort of. That's, yeah, but they're using mercury, which is yes, this one is a stack sealed, blah, blah, blah. This is, that's a little bit different. This is using mercury, the weight of mercury in a tube, which is not what we've got. An aneroid barometer. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Static, blah, 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 and static port, mechanical linkage between aneroid and transaction sub. Okay. Yeah, that's the adjustment Colesman. Okay. Standard. High, low, watch out below. When flying to high pressure to low pressure, the altimeter is not updated. It's higher. Okay, so if you're flying from low pressure to high, from high pressure to low pressure. That makes total sense. You understand why that makes sense? Let's say your altimeter shows 2,000 feet and you're cruising from a high pressure area to a low pressure area. All of a sudden you show 1,100 feet and you haven't really changed because the pressure from the static port is now lower.
Mm-hmm.
So the aneroid is going to, let me think about that. So it thinks you've gone higher. The aneroid thing is going to expand. It thinks you've gone higher because it's lower pressure. Because if you go higher, the air pressure is going to go lower, and that's what it knows. If you don't adjust and you just fly into a low pressure area, it's going to go, shit, I just climbed. Awesome. I've got great performance.
Right.
So that's why high to low, we'll look out below. Types of altitude, indicated altitude, pressure altitude. Okay, indicated altitude is corrected with the dial into pressure altitude is at 29.92. Density altitude is pressure altitude corrected for non-standard temperature. I'm assuming you know all these things already?
Yeah.
Okay, true altitude is the actual altitude above mean sea level. Not sure how you do that. Well, I don't, if you've got it.
I guess it's corrected for all that other stuff.
Well, not everything. Because density altitude is higher than true altitude. True altitude, and I think pressure altitude on a really indicated altitude, uncorrected altitude, indicated set the local pressure center. So the indicated altitude would have to have some correction applied to get true altitude. That's interesting. I'd have to figure out how you actually calculate true altitude based on what's inside the airplane. Not that it matters, because it doesn't really matter. You're only going on what everybody cares about, whatever the air pressure setting is and what your damn altimeter says.
Right.
This is it. I mean, that's it. What's so funny is, what's her name's trying to play with Anderson, but she's terrified of him.
Yeah.
So she jumped up and then Anderson making a move and she's like, oh shit, no. She just hunkered down, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
And then Anderson's like, why aren't you playing? Well, you scared the shit out of me, that's why. You yelled at me really loud. And Anderson's a horrible animal. So, yeah, I don't even know why I like him. Vertical speed indicator. Oh God, shut up, Sunday. She's a nut job. All right, so airspeed indicator. What page are we on? 6. Okay, we're making some progress. Airspeed indicator, blah, blah, blah. We know how that works. Vertical speed indicator, indicates rate of climb, blah, blah, blah. Accurate after a 6 knot. Fuck, I told James that. No, it doesn't. It's immediate. And rate trend immediately with rate change. Okay. FPM. Okay. I am not a huge fan of the VSI. I mean, I use it.
Yeah, it's. I don't like really any of the instruments because they all do that. They all lag. The airspeed lags, VSI lags. I assume
Altitude doesn't lag.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably you probably go by that one, but
altitude and generally the horizon doesn't lag. The artificial horizon is not lagging too much.
Yeah.
I love that, and I keep that little dot right on the white line. When I'm in level flight, I adjust that to where the dot's right in the middle of the white line, and I hold that, and you're never going to change. Now, of course, if you fix it a little bit, I use that as my are you climbing or diving. Also, the sound of the engine. Airspeed indicator, we know what the instantaneous VLI. Oh, Jesus. I wish I had one of those. That'd be so cool. If you have one of those, that'd be awesome. But we don't.
Oh, the instantaneous VSI? Yeah. That's probably with the planes that were built in the last, 40 years.
Yeah. Don't get all crazy now.
Yeah.
Okay, airspeed indicator, we know how the hell that works. Ram pressure against static pressure, blah, 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 blah,
yep.
blah.
That really helped that lesson.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, I feel like I know it really well.
You do? Okay, and trains going by and the dogs are making sure the train doesn't invade the backyard. Very nice of them. Okay. All righty-dighty. So where are we? Indicated airspeed. Okay, you know what that is. Calibrated airspeed is adjusted for position. Equivalent airspeed, don't even know what that is. Oh, compressibility error. Fuck that. We don't have to worry about it. We're never going fast enough for it. True airspeed. Equivalent airspeed. I'm gonna have to look up equivalent airspeed because that's a compressibility thing. It's a Mach thing. But let's. I'm gonna put that over here just for the hell of it. God, I hate that dog so much. And okay. Mach number. Yep. Percent of the speed of sound. Ground speed. Yeah. Airspeed indicator. Yep. Okay, static port blockage. Okay, static port, I'm not looking at the details. Static port blockage. Airspeed indicator should only indicate correctly at the altitude to block that. It will indicate higher speed at higher altitude and lower speed at lower altitude. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No. No, I was wrong. Higher altitude, it'll indicate lower speed. And lower altitude of the higher speed when blockage. Altimeter will freeze on the altitude where it was blocked. Okay, VSI freezes on 0. What? Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. After verifying blocking is static, you should use an alternate static source or break the VSI window in case. Expect reverse VSI information. So, okay, good to know. I did not know that, the reverse VSI. I thought it would just sit there like a bump on the log. All right. So you're going to have backwards VSI information at that point. When using alternate static source, a lower static pressure is measured. Alternate static is probably vented inside the cockpit, as I'm guessing. A lower static pressure is measured. Okay, because it's inside the cockpit. Airspeed indicator indicates, okay, so if a lower static is measured, the altimeter will show higher than it should. I'm looking away. The altimeter if you have lower internal static pressure, the altimeter will show higher. The airspeed will show higher. And what else do they have underneath those categories besides altitude and airspeed?
VSI.
The VSI probably should only show a momentary lag.
Yep.
Okay.
Momentarily shows a climb.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Yay, me.
Yeah, you got it.
Only instrument is the airspeed indicator. Ram air inlet clogged and drain hole open. Airspeed drops to 0. Okay, but both airlet and drain hole closed. Airspeed will act as an altimeter and will no longer be reliable, which means good luck. And all right, when suspecting a pitot blockage, consider the use of pitot heat. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I don't understand what the drain hole does. So I'm going to hold this one as a question for
For
Jane.
the pitot tube?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it lets water out, but why would that matter?
It prevents the moisture from getting into the system. Like if you're flying through a cloud or something.
Right.
Because I guess if it didn't have that, it would allow water to actually travel into the pitot-static system.
Right, so it's a drain hole on the bottom. So what's really happened is ram air inlet clogged and drain hole open, airspeed drops to 0 because it just stops the ram part. It's like having 2 static ports.
Yeah.
Because the drain hole will act as a static port in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. And if both of them are closed, then you've got a constant pressure system in one system in the ram side, and then the static will change and it will act like an altimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I kind of get it. When suspecting a pitot blockage, turn on the heat. Okay, thank you. I will do so.
Yeah.
Generic instrument taxi check, airspeed 0, unless you're in a wind. Turn coordinator, ball centered, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, that makes total sense. Turning should go opposite, altitude, correct, pitch angle, pitch attitude and bank angle with blah, blah, blah. 5 minutes of start, heading indicator. Set and shows correct headings, good. Altimeter, it should be when you set the Colesman number, it should be within 75 feet of the field or vice versa. Because let's be honest, I set it to field altitude. I don't even check the Colson number.
Yeah, same here.
When I'm at Hicks, I'm going to go, oh, great, 855.
855.
Done.
Yep.
VSI, 0 feet per minute magnetic compass, swinging freely, full of fluid, shows known headings. Navicom set, GPS, EFIS. Okay, got it. This is good to have. EFIS, blah, 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 blah. Flight information system, check. Primary flight, well, you don't have any of that shit. GPS checks and set, Navcom set, magnetic compass good, VSI 0, altimeter, you know, held it heading at altimeter, you better be heading somewhere, attitude, excuse me. You don't want the thing sideways when you're taxiing, because that means you just rolled the airplane over on the taxiway. That's a joke. Interesting stuff. And we're only on page 7 of 21. That's not as bad as I was thinking. Hey, can we do a couple more of these?
Yes, I got to probably head out around 4:30-ish.
Oh, you got to go
I'm
now.
good.
You just go now.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I need to call your mom. I want to call her and see how she's doing. But okay.
Yeah, she'd like to hear. Yeah.
DV Mona. Okay.
Never heard that one.
Me neither.
Huh.
Mona Lisa is easy to remember. I'm just DV Mona. Okay. Deviation, variation, magnetic dip, and oscillation. North and south turner, unos and ands, I remember that. These are really handy. But they only work in the northern hemisphere. So if you fly in Australia, it's
They probably got some other ones.
And dans or something like that. Okay. Magnetic dip, north-south. That's due to where you are in the club. Oscillation, I don't even know what magnetic oscillation, what the hell that is. So I'm going to take this. Deviation and variation, I know. But magnetic dip and oscillation, I kind of know what magnetic dip is. That's magnetic dip and oscillation. Let's grab that and stick it in the question, Delio Appies.
Where are you pasting all this?
I'm pasting them in a little file that's off the screen.
I need to do the same thing. That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I'm just making the questions here. I understand what deviation. I'm pretty sure I know what the magnetic dip is, but I'm just gonna let's save it there anyhow. Aha. Okay, ours is a more accurate blah heading than traditional separate child systems. Wow. Okay. Oh, it's a fancy thing for people who got more money than me. Unless I get the Cirrus job.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll see.
Did you hear back from them?
No, I talk with them tomorrow at 3.
Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah. So, attitude, heading, and we done that. Air data computers. Okay, this is what. Yeah, this is the data computer for all things air, pitot static and outside temperature, and all this shit. Everything to do with the pitot and static. Flight director computes and displays bars. Flight management system. All shit that I don't have. Electronic flight instrument
AKA glass cockpit. We don't use that word here.
Yeah. The only glass we got in the cockpit is the windshield. Primary flight display. Okay. None of that makes any difference to me.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
0 for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7.
Yeah, I'm in a real shitty airplane. Tomato flames, tomato flames. You know what? I would have made it tomato flames with 2 A's. That would have been better.
I use Goose Cat because I'm only doing private stuff right now, but
Goose cat.
yeah. Did you hear that one?
No. What is
Goosecat.
Goosecat? Go through
It's
the.
a gas gauge, oil temperature, oil pressure gauge, safety belts. Yeah. I think E is ELT, I think. A altimeter, then C, or what C is. Can't
But all right, so where are we? Tomato flames, Goosecat. Totally using Goosecat.
Yeah, Goosecat.
Okay, altimeter, tachometer, oil temperature, manifold pressure. Okay, what the hell?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. All righty. Okay, tachometer, oil, manifold pressure. We don't really have that. For each altitude engine? The fuck?
Yeah, that's why James was telling me about Goosecat, because he's like, Tomato Flames has unnecessary stuff that you don't need.
Okay. Yeah, but manifold pressure is great if you got variable pitch propeller. I get it. But airspeed indicator, temperature gauge. I'm hoping to have something with manifold pressure sooner than later. Oil pressure gauge for each engine, fuel quantity for each tank, landing gear lights, anti-collision lights. I'm just gonna have to memorize this shit.
Yeah. It's a summary of pilot training, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty much memorizing. I'm gonna memorize some shit. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, great. Let's just knock off here. And I'm gonna do probably gonna catch up on some more stuff for in the morning, catch up for some serious study.